Good morning. I was gonna shower, put on makeup, and do all the things for this video, but I just do not have the will right now. So this is what you're getting. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Sharon. I just turned 35 and I thought that I would talk about the last 10 years. I don't know if this is weird to say. I mean, I don't think it's weird, but whatever. But my first marriage would be turning 10 years this year. And I don't feel some type of way about it, but I'm feeling very reflective and pensive about it. This video is not about my first marriage. It's just about the last 10 years and what I've learned and how I've grown and how I think people can just mature faster if they know these things. When I look back at when I was 25, I just see this insecure, I don't want to use the word stupid, but kind of stupid girl that just puts so much weight on the wrong things and really just had it wrong in so many ways that I want to prevent other girls from wasting time doing the things that I did. And everyone has their own process. Obviously, I needed to go through the last 10 years to get to where I am today. But it would have been nice if I just knew some of these things earlier and didn't waste time having a hard time, you know? So anyways, this is the version of myself that I like a lot better than I was when I was 25. So these are some of the things that I've learned that maybe could help you save some time. Save some time of you being in your head a little bit too much. Okay, so the first thing is boundaries. Everyone knows about boundaries. We talk about boundaries all the time in the world. We talk about it with toddlers, we talk about it at work, we talk about it just having your own boundaries. And I just don't think it's emphasized enough that boundaries make people happy. Like I kind of disclaimer in all my videos, I typically am talking to young, maybe Asian American women who really struggle with voicing what they need and taking care of themselves in the right ways. And I think boundaries is one of those things. We are so primed and trained throughout our life to people please and to make sure that we don't piss anybody off, that we are kind and accommodating and helpful to other people. And those are all really good things. But it comes at the expense of our own boundaries, which in turn kind of makes us into bitter or resentful people who get really angry at the church or really angry at our friends or our family or just create this really unsettled feeling in our hearts that we can't necessarily tell where it's coming from because we've just been serving everybody else our whole life. And it's like, what do I even want? And what are even things that I want to do versus like things that I feel like I should be doing? This is not to say that you should make it all about yourself and you should never serve anybody and that you should never help anybody. And I think that even if we tried doing that, we wouldn't be able to do that. And I'm using the word we because I'm kind of talking to a specific group here, but it's not just for these people. It's not just for people who look like me, who identify similarly to me. But my point is, boundaries are a really good thing and it's okay to say no and you should say no. Let's normalize the word nah. N-A-H, nah. Like if somebody asks you, hey, do you want to serve on this committee? And you just don't have the capacity to do that. You wouldn't say nah at work, but maybe if it's like a friend asking you for a favor at church or something, you just really don't want to do it. And you have a really good reason, like you just don't have the capacity right now. It'd be nice if you could just say, nah. And obviously, okay, I take it back. Maybe we shouldn't normalize the word nah in all contexts, but the essence of the word nah is like, nah, I thought about it and I don't really want to, or I don't really think that's the right time for me, so I'm not going to do it. Instead of having to like provide this really drawn out explanation where you're just going back and forth and you're just like fluffing it up, where you're just padding it with all these qualifiers of like, oh, thanks so much for asking, I would love to, but right now I don't think I can, I just have so much going on and blah blah blah. And you know, those are good things to say too, but I just wish that we could just say no and the other person trusts that all of those things that you would say, like that elaborate explanation, is just included in the no. It's just like, I'm not saying no because I'm a jerk. I'm not saying no because I'm just being lazy or just don't want to help you, but I just can't right now. And that's okay. And I think that's something that I've learned the last 10 years, that if I don't want to do something, I just say no. And I don't have to provide this really long explanation. This is something I'm still working on in the sense where I sometimes have trouble deciphering, like, is this something that I can do, but I just really don't want to? And I am just being like purely selfish, Or if it's like, no, like I don't have to do that, you know, I can say no and that's fine and somebody else will do it. Or maybe they won't and then it'll fall to the wayside and maybe it's something that's not that important, because if it was that important, then somebody would have picked it up. This came out specifically in one of my friendships where I think we were just so careful to not come off like we didn't want to do something for each other or like spend time together or something. And this also goes for like if someone asks you to hang out and you just don't want to that night, you're just so tired, and that's the only reason you don't want to go out is because you're tired, and that's a legitimate reason. I just learned that in this one friendship that I'm thinking of, it was so refreshing when we kind of changed the culture of our communication and our friendship to just say no, or just to say nah or like, I don't know, how did we say it? Like basically we were just more direct in saying no, and the other person just really appreciated that, because now you don't have to do this dance of like, okay, well now it's a little bit open-ended, so like, do you want me to check in with you? Do you want me to ask you again in a week, or do you want me to ask you later tonight? It's just like, how about we just make our decision, just say no, and nobody take it personally. It's not personal. Anyway, that's something I've been thinking about, and how it just would have saved me so much time, like literally time, when you just save yourself in that conversation of back and forth of just like feeling like you have to explain yourself and the other person feels the same way. So you're both doing that. And it's just like this long conversation when you could have both just made a decision, said no, said your piece, set a boundary, and everyone just moves on and no one takes it personally. Obviously, this takes trust in whatever relationship you're thinking about with this. Like, if you're always saying no and the other person is starting to feel like you don't want to hang out with them, then that is a deeper conversation to have. But if it's like, you know, a friend that you trust and you're good friends with them, and there's no reason that you wouldn't want to hang out with them, you just like can't right now for whatever reason. It's just so nice when everyone can just say that they don't want to do something and they don't have to like provide an entire explanation for it. Anyways, that's one thing I'm working on, and something that I think I've gotten better at, and it's just really freed up my time and really freed up my brain space. Okay, the second thing I've learned is that no one is thinking about you in the ways that you think that they're thinking about you. And this is kind of like maybe like a tough love kind of moment. Like when you are gluing about something, which I've mentioned in my other video, the word glue is a term that my friend Helen made up, where it's like something is stuck to you. Like you can't stop thinking about it, or like you're worrying about something that you said, or you're worried that someone's mad at you because you said something. Like you're gluing about something, it's stuck to you. So if you are gluing about something and you're wondering if somebody is thinking about you all day, or like somebody's mad at you, it's like a lot of the time I can almost guarantee that they're not thinking about you, or they're not thinking about that moment. Or if they are, or they were, it was so short and it was just like a moment in passing and they just forgot about it. I think allowing us to unglue ourselves with those kinds of moments can really free ourselves too, because otherwise, if you're in your head all the time about everyone's thinking about you, everyone's mad at you, everyone's thinking about this one stupid thing that you said. I understand that it comes from social anxiety, but it's something that I've freed myself from too, because I know that if the roles were reversed, I wouldn't be thinking about that person. Hopefully the people you're surrounding yourself with are nice people, and people who just kind of know your intentions, or know that you didn't mean it that way, or, you know, they knew what you meant even if you didn't have the perfect words. And so if somebody says something that seemed a little bit weird or silly, I thought to myself, oh, that was kind of weird or silly. I would tell myself, okay, but I know what they meant, or like, they didn't mean it that way. Like, I know this person, they're my friend. I'm not going to be thinking about it all day. I have other things to do in my own life. I'm not thinking about this one friend all day. So if that's how I think, then that's probably how they think too, just because we're all friends and everyone's nice. You don't have to worry that everyone is out to get you all the time, because they're not. And it's not like everyone's gossiping about you, and I don't know, no one's thinking about you like that. We really just all have better things to do with our lives than think about you every day. And I don't know if that sounds mean, but hopefully that'll free you from some of these gluey moments. Okay, having said that, the third thing is the let them theory. I haven't read the book, I haven't looked into it much, but even just the two words let them really has freed me a lot. It's something that I've talked about with one of my friends, and we do struggle with this sometimes. Like, we have certain people or just certain situations that just really do get in our heads, and it's really hard to unglue ourselves, and that's valid, and I get that. But in those moments, if that is true, let's say that we're wrong, or that I'm wrong right now, I'm telling you, like, they're not thinking about you, but they are, and you know that they are. Like, you have specific people that you know are gossiping about you or whatever, which, side note, then that's a different issue. Like, Like, should you still be friends with them? I don't know. But let's say that you do have people who think certain things about you and you know that for a fact. Let them. Who cares? Okay, I care and you care and I get that. But it's like, at the end of the day, why does it matter? I had these moments where I was like, but if people think that I'm a bad friend, or people think that I have these specific character issues that I don't think that I have, or it's something that I'm working on, or it's something that really bothers me, if people think that about me, if people are talking about it or thinking that or whatever, what's gonna happen? I don't know. They're just gonna be talking about it and then that's it. I don't know. And if you have friends that truly love you and know that you have certain things that you need to work on, or just things that you don't even like about yourself, hopefully these friends will be the ones to challenge you and help you overcome these things in a good and healthy way, and not just be like talking about it, holding it against you in a malicious way. And if they do that, let them. It's not about you at that point. At that point, it's not coming from a place of love from them. It's not coming from a place of genuine wanting to help you become a better person. It's like, I don't know, I feel like it's borderline bullying, you know, or maybe just straight up bullying. So let them think what they want about you. Your job is not to have everybody's approval and make sure that everybody loves you 100% all the time. That's another side thing I'm working on and thinking about these days, that I want to care less about pleasing everybody and not pissing anyone off with things that I believe in or things that I think. Even if, especially if it's a hot topic or a hot take, if I believe it to be true, then I want to be more bold in that. And if they're going to think I'm a horrible person because of that, then let them. It's something I'm working on right now too. So the last thing with that kind of leads into the biggest revelation that I had after my first marriage, when I just had my whole world shattered and my whole world shook upside down, is making sure that you're placing your identity in the right places. If you are Christian, I am 100% saying you should be placing your identity as a child of God. If you're not Christian, then I don't know, whatever that means for you right now. I really struggled with placing my identity in things that are just so fleeting, that are dependent on man, being a good friend, being a good wife, being a good daughter. Like, these are things that I really cared about. And I do care about these things still, but not in the way that I used to. In the past, specifically with the friend thing, I just placed such a huge identity in my friend group and how we are best friends. And if we have friendship issues, or they replace me with a different friend, or if I felt any sense of like, they don't love me as much as they used to, or I'm not their number one friend, I would be so devastated about that. All of my insecurities would be coming out, and it would turn into conflict at best. And at worst, it just consumed me in such an unhealthy way, and really took away my identity as a child of God and as a daughter of God. That is what I should be caring about more. But it turned into, I care more about what my friends think than what God thinks. I don't know. It was just something I thought about all day, every day. And it was so unhealthy. And if you think about it, it's like, why? Like, these are also human beings with their own issues. Why do we care so much about what other people think when everybody is kind of the same? I'm essentially placing other people on a pedestal, or putting them in this like morally superior position. I'm telling myself like they are better than me, so I care about their approval, or I care about what they think of me because they are better than me and they know more than me and they are more important than me. And all of these things are so not true. Like, it sounds ridiculous when I say that. That's one thing. Like, if you care so much about what this other person thinks about you, I get it. If it's like a parent or a really close friend or a sibling that you are so close to, whatever, I get it. Like, I understand why, but think of them as another human being. Like, why is their opinion or their perception more important than yours? Why are you letting yourself let it drive you crazy when they are also working through their own stuff too? That's one thing. Another thing is, people are so fleeting, and your roles in life are so fleeting. The second example, the wife thing, when I cared so much about having this perfect marriage and having this type of relationship that I saw in the movies, like, I wanted that. I was such a hopeless romantic, and I just really romanticized marriage in a very unhealthy way. And when that fell apart, and obviously my marriage did not look like that, it just reminded me that things of this world, including something that is supposed to be forever, like a marriage, is so fleeting. And there is nothing in this world that is permanent, that cannot be taken away from you. You could wake up one day and your husband randomly tells you that he's cross-dressing and that he's trans, it came out of nowhere. It's just like the things that we put our identity in this world is just silliness too, because it's so fleeting. I'm not saying that the people in your life are not important and you shouldn't care about what they think of you. Of course you do. Of course you should. And of course you should be kind. And of course you should have empathy for other people too. All of those things. But if you're letting it get to a place where it dictates your emotions, your thoughts, and makes you care more about their opinion more than God's, or what you believe to be right or true, it's just, you got to reevaluate why you care about that more. And it's probably not a sustainable, healthy thing for you to live with for the rest of your life, or even just, for the next however many months or years. It's really going to consume you in a way that's just not healthy. So anyway, I'm 35 now, and of course I'm still working on things. I'm working on all of these things that I mentioned in this video. But when I think about how I was when I was 25 and what I cared about and what I put my identity in, I see such an insecure person that I wish I could tell her, you're just completely missing the point of so many things, and you're really shackling yourself to these things. When you don't care about what people think as much, or when you are able to say no to something with confidence, when you're able to say, you are not more important than me, like your opinion doesn't matter more than mine, like I shouldn't be gluing about all of these things that I said to you because you might be mad at me and that's consuming you every day. When you can kind of let go of all that, you're so free. Like there's just so much freedom in that. And if at the end of the day, you know that you are loved by a God who doesn't want you to worry about every semantical thing that you say, like if you chose the one wrong word and he's mad at you for that, or like if you become less perfect at something, or you make a mistake or something, like this is a God who's not going to hold that against you and love you less because of that. He just loves you because of who you are. And once you have that knowledge and you believe it in your heart and you practice it in your daily life, in your friendships, your relationships with yourself, and you show grace to yourself every day, it is very, very freeing. So yeah, hopefully this video kind of saves you some time, mostly in your head and mostly among conversations with your friends and your loved ones, where you can just be free to say no, have trust among one another, know that when you say no or that you don't say the perfect words in a conversation, that there is trust and you both know that you're just trying your best and that you're trying to take care of yourself as best as you can, and the other party is doing the same. I think the key to confidence is knowing who you are. If someone says something otherwise about you, try to remember who you are and know that that person is not telling the truth about you. Your identity is not in their approval of you. And you know what? If they still choose to go ahead and say all this stuff, let them. It's not about you at that point. Okay, that is all. Let me know if there are other things that I missed to make you more confident and to have a better life and take better care of yourself. Let's make this a good year. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Bye.